Taking the India story forward, viewers, we get you the $10 trillion roadmap ahead of Union budget. First up, the big stories that we've lined up for you.
In the global scenario, we are achieving this high growth rates, consumption and investment spending amidst very moderate inflation environment.
6.8 to 7.2% is the growth prediction from the economic survey. Suggests that the risks are rising amidst a volatile global political environment. What will the FM do to address these concerns? We tell you. Slash in custom duties to boost manufacturing and focus on protecting industries most impacted by Trump tariffs could top the finance minister's agenda.
Jobs. Otherwise, you'll get caught up in the counting of the input. This road, that bridge, that school. No, outcomes. How many young people and women and young boys, how many of them have hope, aspiration and earning capacity because of the work you did? Jobs, jobs, jobs.
That's the word coming in from World Bank President Ajay Banga. His big policy expectation is focus on jobs. That's the message coming in from the World Bank chief. How much will politics play a role in this year's budget is a $1 trillion question. With 5 very crucial state elections lined up, political calculations will weigh in on the upcoming budget. Prudent politics versus big picture growth. That's the trade-off. It's the first budget after Operation Sindoor, where India's indigenous defense manufacturing prowess came to the fore. Will this budget break the capex ceiling for defense? As the government says, Operation Sindoor is still underway. Will it mean game-changing capex for defense? We decode. Viewers, India is at a Goldilocks moment. Our GDP is growing at more than 7%. There's record low inflation. Very few countries have this kind of economic opportunity that India has. And as Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman presents her 9th budget, we are hoping it to be big, bold and beautiful, making the most of the big Goldilocks moment that is there in front of us. Now, this is a very important budget. It comes after India clocked highest growth rates in the world at 7.2% as against the world average of just about 3%. The budget also comes in after Donald Trump imposed the 50% tariffs and singled out India. It comes after India signed a string of trade deals, including the mother of all trade deals with the EU. It showed that it has the stomach and political capital to sign off on big trade pacts. And this budget also comes in as the BJP prepares for key elections, including the mother of all electoral battles, that is Bengal. All of this is going to weigh in on the finance minister's mind and will reflect on her Bai Khata as well, as every year, like every year, here's what India Ascent's wish list will look like and looks like right now, viewers, for the upcoming budget. Now, firstly, all roads should lead to growth-enhancing productive capital expenditure. And that's what we here at India Ascents put out as our wish list number 1. Whether it is for rural spending, whether it's for defense manufacturing, that's where the focus should be. On rural spending, 1.88 lakh crore rupees was the spending. It should get at least a 10% hike, maybe more. Now, overall, the capex pie actually stands at 11.2 lakh crore rupees. It got a marginal hike last time. We want it to be much more substantial this year. The next on the wish list is on the tax part, both via income tax as well as GST, more rationalization, more reduction, and that includes custom duties as well. Because simpler tax rules mean easier rules to do business. And that is what starts and kickstarts the entire big ticket investment cycle. Now, next up is the very politically difficult trade-off between freebies and responsible fiscal policies. Our third wish list, at a time when there's Bengal, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Assam and Puducherry, big political battles where the BJP would like to make big electoral wins. And that's where the FM will have to wear the hat of being a prudent fiscal manager and ensure that things are cut and kept under control. Now, spurring consumption should be a big focus as well. That's our next up on our wish list. Now, the reason why India hasn't been impacted much by tariffs is because we're not an export-led economy, which means that we are driven by our consumption, and that needs to be spurred further. How will that be done? Big rural spends, tax cuts, all of that needs to be our big focus, because if we're not focused so much on exports, then it has to be consumption. Lastly, India has witnessed record outflows last year. $18 billion is the amount that foreign investors have pulled out. Rupee has seen sharp falls, 5% since Trump tariffs kicked in. Now, some of this is investment, is sentiment driven, and some of this is actually macroeconomic fundamentals. At a Goldilocks moment like we have right now, it has to be a reassurance coming in from the finance minister to address that, because that will mean more foreign investors flocking into the Indian markets. Those are the 5 key wish lists that we have. Now, trade wars are back, tariffs continue to rise, and oil prices remain unpredictable. And all of it because geopolitics is the one that's driving trade for India. This means that we need to rewrite the rule book. Now, chief economic advisor's focus on Swadeshi is a clear assessment of the domestic market. India must focus on strategic indigenization. At India Sense, this means securing raw materials. Don't be reluctant on a few suppliers to ensure no single country can economically squeeze or restrict our access. And have a clear roadmap for critical minerals and access to cutting-edge technology. Now, Puritans are going to say trade works best when countries compete globally, with survival of the fittest really being the mantra. Obviously, they're not living in Trump land, because the new normal is where countries need to brace for the tariff uncertainty that the Trump administration has brought about. How best are we going to navigate this? This report tells you.
The global economy is in turmoil yet again. Tariffs are rising, oil is volatile, and geopolitics is rewriting trade routes at speed. And as India continues to face 50% tariffs from one of its largest trading partners, the US, Budget 2026 is being shaped with one clear objective: Trump-proof the Indian economy. The message from New Delhi is blunt. India will not wait for global stability. Rather, it will build its own. This budget is a response to a world where war, tariffs, and economic nationalism have replaced predictable trade norms. The Economic Survey dropped a key clue. Trade talks with the United States are likely to conclude this year. In an era where Washington is busy weaponizing tariffs, even the possibility of a deal matters. It gives India leverage at a time when supply chains are being rearranged. Budget 2026 is ready to respond to global headwinds. India is expected to tighten some gates to protect its domestic producers, but open others wide enough to let in cheaper critical inputs. Because competitiveness today isn't about sheltering factories. It's about making them faster, cheaper, and globally relevant. The budget is also likely to focus on export diversification, reducing dependence on one market. 2025 saw that as India signs key FTAs with UK, EU, New Zealand, amongst others. As US tariffs climb and global headwinds intensify, the world is hunting for new markets and manufacturing hubs. India wants to be that alternative. But success will depend on infrastructure, regulatory certainty, execution on the ground, and confidence in the future.
Now, one of the key aspects of the budget this year is how much the government will spend on the defense sector. Not just on revenue expenditure, but on capex. Now, India lives in the most hostile neighborhood in the world. We launched Operation Sindoor, which, by the way, is still underway. And now the government needs to prepare a modern, well-resourced and strong defense architecture that is well funded for the many challenges that India faces. Now, India's defense budget is actually 6.81 lakh crore rupees, but the capital outlay is still 26%. Now, this needs to go up. Additional capex will help in ensuring continuous modernization of defense forces, enable greater use of technology, and also something that will prepare India for tomorrow. Now, I expect the budget of DRDO, which is the nodal body for key defense research, to also be stepped up. It's about 26,800 crore rupees. It needs to go up, not incrementally, but substantially. The aspiration for Atmanirbharta relies heavily on the ability to create investment pipelines for future growth. And that will require big ticket investments. It will also allow India to be a big defense exporter. From 23,000 crore rupees to 50,000 crore rupees, which is our aspiration, the roadmap requires investment and big ticket investment, something that will also allow India to also make best use of its vibrant defense startup ecosystem. All right, viewers, on that note, we are slipping into a very short break. Up ahead is our very special discussion with key panelists and their expectations of Union Budget 2026. Stay tuned.
मेड इन इंडिया क्यों नहीं? हमारे पास क्या है? मस्टर्ड ऑयल. इट इज आवर फ्लैगशिप ऑयल.
और हमें गर्व है कि 1933 से हम पी मार्क कच्ची घानी मस्टर्ड ऑयल का उत्पादन कर रहे हैं. इस मूल्यवान स्वदेशी प्रोडक्ट को बनाने में हमने खुद को समर्पित किया है पीढ़ियों से.
माँ भी हमेशा पी मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी.
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में.
पी मार्क द मस्टर्ड स्पेशलिस्ट सिंस 1933.
सरसों से सरसों.
1st February 2026. What will change? Will costs be more handy? Will my essentials get cheaper? Will my business grow bigger? Will I get richer? Will loans get easier? Will shopping be more fun? Will the prices drop? So I get more. What will happen? Union Budget 2026 on NDTV Network.
All right, team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide, and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma, and I am your Automate. Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV Network.
straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gaurie, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, unmissable. That's how I roll. Watch me, Priyanka Deo, on NDTV World. Namaste.
मेड इन इंडिया क्यों नहीं? हमारे पास क्या है? मस्टर्ड ऑयल. इट इज आवर फ्लैगशिप ऑयल.
और हमें गर्व है कि 1933 से हम पी मार्क कच्ची घानी मस्टर्ड ऑयल का उत्पादन कर रहे हैं. इस मूल्यवान स्वदेशी प्रोडक्ट को बनाने में हमने खुद को समर्पित किया है पीढ़ियों से.
माँ भी हमेशा पी मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी.
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में.
पी मार्क द मस्टर्ड स्पेशलिस्ट सिंस 1933.
सरसों से सरसों.
a very well-known market expert, chief and executive chairman of OPC Asset Solutions. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining me. Aditi, let me start with you. One is, of course, the macro numbers, and then, of course, we get into the sectors. But I want to start with the big numbers there. You know, many feel this is Goldilocks moment for India. We've got the right GDP numbers, we've got right inflation numbers. Of course, a record FII pullout is a matter of concern. But how do you see India's fiscal math measuring up this year?
So, thank you so much. Let me start with FY26. We are not expecting a fiscal slippage. Overall, there will be some hits and misses as far as the revenues and expenditures are concerned, but we're expecting the overall fiscal deficit to be in line with what was budgeted for this year. For FY27, we are now assuming that the budget will bake in about a 10 to 10.5% nominal GDP growth, given the kind of real growth that has been indicated by the Eco Survey yesterday. And in our view, this is going to be a year where tax revenue growth will be a bit subdued. There will be an overhang from the GST side in particular, the rationalization as well as the cess going away. On the expenditure side, we are hoping that whatever space is there will get prioritized towards capex.
Okay.
1 percentage point reduction in the debt to GDP ratio, and we believe that a 4.3% of GDP fiscal deficit is tenable with all of these assumptions.
So I'll tell you why I feel that the debt to GDP numbers coming down could be tricky, simply because there are 5 very important state elections this year, and at the end of the day, that trade-off is what essentially the budget making exercise is all about. But Dr. Bhattacharya, I want to bring you in on your expectations in terms of what do you think the priority or the focus areas could be for the FM this year. There is a growth momentum going, so there are tailwinds there, but at the same time, there are global political headwinds as well.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I was going to amplify what you just said a little while ago. There are also pressures because of the geopolitics in terms of increased defense spending. So there are large holes that have suddenly come up, and therefore it will be difficult for the government to balance without increasing a bit of the debt to GDP. But thankfully, we are back on the same glide path as we were in terms of fiscal deficit before COVID happened, which is almost a sign that we have been able to absorb the total impact of COVID in the 5 years since COVID got over. So those are positive signs. So we are back onto the growth track. But if I go back to what the Economic Service said, is that the cost of capital in this economy is going up because of the current account deficit. And that's a big hole again. If you look at the current account deficit with just China, it's $100 billion. And the budget is the right time to actually address this. There are structural cost differences between India and China. And clearly the deficit with China in terms of trade is one of the elephants in the room. We need to address it in order to have a secular continued growth for India, which is sustainable. And therefore, some of the the basic custom duty interventions needs to be made in areas such as viscose filament yarn or PNCB and isopropyl alcohol, which are critical for downstream pharmaceuticals, for our energy security.
So if I were to, if I were to just take on the custom duty bit, just to simplify and, to tell our viewers, yesterday you had the chief economic advisor saying that Swadeshi is a very legit economic tool in times of global political turmoil that we are seeing. Is that then a precursor to India now ensuring that it gives more bulwarks to its sectors that are going to be most exposed, whether it's leather, toys, footwear, textiles, all of those sectors?
Absolutely, yes. And I also would like to add that people should not confuse between Swadeshi and license Raj. So in the 60s, we were brought down not because of Swadeshi, but because of license Raj. There has to be a extreme competition in this country, but with a focus on ensuring that there is domestic production and domestic capacities. Because of activities such as dumping by imports, we end up destroying our capacities. In fact, another source is saying that when war happens, people put bombs on each other's factories. But what is happening now is adversaries are bringing down their prices so that the factories become unviable, and therefore the capacities are getting destroyed without throwing. And hence the budget comes in as the Sudarshan Chakra. It protects and safeguards our capacities, and that's very critical as we move forward.
All right. Mr. Bagga, let me bring you in on the other side to it, which is that what is it that markets, global investors are looking at in this budget? There has been a record FII pullout, $18 billion no less. We have a rupee that is under pressure. And that, of course, adds up to our overall economic math. But from a larger point of view, what is that big thing that global investors are really looking for in this budget?
Yeah, see, global investors are largely looking for policy continuity and, tax regime which is predictable, which is long term. The other thing that has really led to the Indian market's underperformance has been the relative overvaluation of India, the lack of pure play AI companies. So even though emerging markets outperformed last year, emerging markets as a cohort were up 34%, we saw India underperforming and we saw consistent FPI outflows. Where did the flows go? They went into China, into the new age Chinese companies. It went to Korea. Korea is basically a two-company market. If you look at the performance, 73% up for the Kospi last year was largely because of Samsung and SK Hynix. So it was a semiconductor AI place and Japan. That's where the money went. So that I don't see it getting addressed in the budget. I would say we missed a bus in 2019 when first time the Trump tariffs came up. China unleashed a 35 point program of 35 things that they had to get self-reliant or not reliant on the US economy for. They have delivered on that. Okay. We sat thinking that we will be able to negotiate our way through. This budget is a small step, but I think the bigger issue for us will be to what the economic survey mentioned, bringing up that Swadeshi. We need to have a 20-30 point module like the Chinese did over the last 6 years.
All right. Aditi, do you expect that big 30-point program to be outlined in the budget, essentially setting the roadmap for our manufacturing sector, for our overall, maybe even PLI scheme? It could be expanded to include some of the other sectors. Right now, it's done wonders, but only in electronics per se. Maybe that could be expanded. That could be part of the overall 2030 roadmap, so to say.
Sure, it could. I mean, see, in the budget, anything, any reform or any policy that needs to have an expenditure outlay needs to be put into the budget. Otherwise, the whole year is there. Reforms and new schemes can be announced at any point in time. The budget itself doesn't have to be the only day on which all of this is brought in by the government. Here, I think, coming back to what I was saying earlier, there is a target to reduce the debt to GDP to 50 plus minus 1% in a few years, and looking at where bond yields are, looking at where we are fearing the overall government borrowings are going to end up next year. I think it will be very important for the government to show a reduction in the debt to GDP ratio. Otherwise, yields could go up further.
And to simplify it for our viewers, Aditi, you're making a very valid point, but just to very simply, put this out for our viewers. When government starts borrowing at a very large scale, what happens is that private sector, it sort of crowds out money that's available for private sector, which means that they're not able to get money or they get it at very expensive rates. This year, the borrowings are likely to be about $17 billion. There could be about $12 to $13 billion add for states as well. So $30 billion is a very large amount that Aditi is referring to in terms of how it has a larger impact. But Jayajit Bhattacharya, I want to bring you in on two aspects which I think are very important and could be reflected in the budget. First is the fact that this is the first budget after Operation Sindoor. The government has made it very clear Operation Sindoor is still underway. Indigenous defense manufacturing is now a very integral part of our national security aspirations. How important do you think defense outlay is going to be, and are we going to breach that 25% levels that we have in terms of capex?
So, as you rightly said, defense is going to be critical, and that's the black swan that's impacting the budgeting process. For sure, we need very immediate and large sums of investments into defense. Will the government be able to balance it in a manner that we still don't breach our fiscal deficit goals? I believe the government should be able to pull it off, which means that there would be curtailments elsewhere But as we see that there has been, I believe, about 4 times increase in capital investments since 2018 by the government. So there is already very significant amount of investment that has been made into both physical infrastructure, which is ports and roads and so on, as well as a lot of digital infrastructure has been invested into.
Okay.
I think BharatNet 3 is a great example. So I think the government will end up doing a balancing act. And also a lot of the defense procurement, the payments may not go immediately in this year.
Yes.
So we'll have time in the next 1 to 2 years, 3 years to actually balance the accounts and make sure that we stick within the fiscal deficit glide path.
All right. So India does have one of the largest defense budgets in the world, but a lot of it actually goes in pensions, salaries and operational expenses, and not so much on capex and building defense manufacturing, which is what the long recurring concern has been. Mr. Bagga, let me, before I wrap this up, let me give you the final word here, which is that this is the first budget after Donald Trump's 50% tariffs. Also the first budget since India decided to, diversify its trade ties, signed up a mother of all trade deals with EU, did one with UK as well. Do you see that commentary, that roadmap to be reflected in the budget as well?
Yeah, definitely. It's a very good point. I think textiles, gems, jewelry, leather goods, specialty chemicals, intermediate machinery, expect some packages for all these which have been impacted by the US tariffs. So expecting something, especially for textile, it's a very huge job employer. Construction is taken care of in the infrastructure budget. So expect these impacted sectors to get a package.
Okay.
Overall, I think we will get a 4.2 odd fiscal deficit number. I'm looking also, Gaurie, at if we will get a disinvestment target which is higher. There's 40 lakh crores which the government owns in the stock market, and you have very good examples like Hindustan Zinc or Nil Mangla and all. So if the government goes for that and takes a higher target, I think that will be very positive for the market.
All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks much, all three of you, for joining in this very special edition of India Ascends. All eyes now on Nirmala Sitharaman's Bai Khata and what does it have in store. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, with that, we wrap things up on this very special edition of India Ascends. All eyes now on 1st of February when Finance Minister will come out with her budget. Big, bold, beautiful, making best use of India's Goldilocks moment. That's our hope. Thanks so much for watching.
Made in India क्यों नहीं? हमारे पास क्या है? Mustard oil. It is our flagship oil.
और हमें गर्व है कि 1933 से हम पी मार्क कच्ची घानी मस्टर्ड ऑयल का उत्पादन कर रहे हैं। इस मूल्यवान स्वदेशी प्रोडक्ट को बनाने में हमने खुद को समर्पित किया है पीढ़ियों से।
माँ भी हमेशा पी मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में। P Mark, the mustard specialist since 1933. सरसों से सरसों।
The NDTV Golf Pro-Am, in partnership with PGTI, comes to you from the heart of South Mumbai at the historic Willingdon Sports Club. The city's classic layout provides the ideal canvas as India's finest golfers share the fairways with the country's top corporate leaders, Mumbai style. Watch at these heights.
Front lines of Kargil, the fury of Operation Sindhu,
so many attacks,
the chaos and cries of disaster zones, to fighter jet cockpits, and the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break, live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. INS Vikrant. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig, until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
21 days in Kashmir. People have bombarded me, friends, with requests for an unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
They are now India's smallest but possibly the most powerful crime family. Cough syrup has killed at least 25 children. Decodes साहब ऐसे मत कीजिए. Suddenly people are wondering about the weaponization of India-Pakistan cricket. We live and breathe elections. You will not believe your eyes or ears when I show you what I'm about to do.
And for a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude.
We're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Aditi Bhardwaj. And let's take a look at the top stories that we are tracking here at this hour. According to sources, Sunetra Pawar is all ready to accept the post of Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra. In this backdrop, an important meeting also will be held in Mumbai. Tamil Nadu heavyweights attend NDTV Tamil Nadu Summit to speak highly of the rivalry between DMK and AIADMK. CM Stalin says AIADMK BJP tie-up is just a compulsion. Deputy CM Udayanidhi also speaks at NDTV Summit, says it is a fight between Dravidians and fascists in the election battle in Tamil Nadu. AIADMK chief EPS also attends the NDTV Tamil Nadu Summit. The rivalry that was out in the open at the NDTV Summit was also carry forwarded by EPS, where he trained guns at the DMK government, saying DMK is set to lose the upcoming elections as BJP and AIADMK tie-up will sweep the elections. NDTV becomes the first media organization to have a sit-down with Tamil Nadu superstar Vijay after his formal political foray. In a wide-ranging and candid conversation, TVK chief spoke about what fuels his politics and his vision for the future of Tamil Nadu. In the Kolkata's Wow Momo warehouse fire tragedy, unit manager and deputy manager sent to 6-day police custody. At least 21 lives have been lost in this tragedy. The top story at this hour, just days after Ajit Pawar's tragic death in a plane crash near Baramati in Maharashtra, a growing chorus within the NCP is calling for his wife, Sunetra Pawar, to step in as the next Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Now, according to sources, the Rajya Sabha MP is all set to take oath at 5 p.m. on Jan 31st, which would make her the first woman Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra. The oath-taking ceremony is expected to take place after a crucial meeting of NCP leaders, MLAs and MLCs at Vidhan Bhavan, where Sunetra Pawar is likely to be elected as the leader of the NCP legislature party. Meanwhile, Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has assured full support to the Pawar family and the NCP. He said that should the party decide to nominate Sunetra Pawar for the Deputy CM's post, the BJP has no issues. However, the road ahead will not be easy. Sunetra Pawar is expected to face multiple challenges, from reclaiming Ajit Pawar's traditional strongholds to establishing her own authority within the Mahayuti government. Sample the reactions.
कोई भी निर्णय जो होगा, ये निर्णय राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस पार्टी लेगी. राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस पार्टी जो निर्णय लेगी, हम उसके साथ खड़े रहेंगे. चाहे वो अजीत पवार जी का परिवार हो या राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस पार्टी हो, इनके साथ पूरी ताकत के साथ सरकार के रूप में और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के रूप में हम खडे.
टेंटेटिव्हली असं ठरलं होतं की उद्या मीटिंग घेऊन CLPची सुनेत्रा ताईंचे जे आहे नाव आपण CLP लीडर म्हणून फाइनल करायचं आहे. CM साहब से जो है हम लोग गए थे, प्रफुल्ल भाई तटकरे, मैं और मुंडे, कल भी हम मिले थे उनको रात को. तो टेंटेटिवली जो है कल हो सकता है क्या सब शपथ विधि से लेकर सारी चीजें. तो मुख्यमंत्री ने कहा कोई मुझे प्रॉब्लम नहीं है.
राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस पार्टी की CLP की मीटिंग कल दोपहर के 2 बजे हमारे सारे विधायक, विधानसभा सदस्य, विधान परिषद सदस्य, पार्टी के सांसद, पार्टी के वरिष्ठ नेता, उनकी उपस्थिति में हो जाएगी. इसका जो कुछ हम निर्णय लेंगे इसके बारे में हम माननीय मुख्यमंत्री महोदय जी को अवगत करेंगे. आज रात को हम सुनेत्रा मीटिंग के साथ भी बात करने वाले.
माननीय शरद पवार साहब, सुनीत्रा भाभी, पार्थ पवार, जय पवार, बाकी पूरा उनके अजीत दादा के भाई बहनें सब लोग इकट्ठा बैठेंगे. इकट्ठा बैठ के वो निर्णय लेंगे. लेकिन अभी उसके बारे में डिप्टी CM को, मंत्री को इसके बारे में चर्चा करना ठीक है. लेकिन उसमें जो निर्णय समझ आता है कि सुनीत्रा वानी को अब डिप्टी CM बनाना चाहिए तो खुशी की बात है.
Departed leader Ajit Pawar's wife Sunetra Pawar is all set to take charge as the first female Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra tomorrow. However, before the ceremony starts, there's going to be an important meeting of all the legislature members of the NCP party, which will be held at the Vidhan Bhavan, where all the MPs, MLAs and MLCs will be present, and thereafter a consensus will be brought in to understand and to decide whether Sunetra Pawar will also lead the legislature of the party or not. And henceforth tomorrow remains a decisive day for the NCP faction. And not only that, but also talks will be rife soon after whether will there be a merger within both the factions of the NCP or not, and what is the actual take of Sharad Pawar into the matter. It is going to be an important day to also look after whether will it be Sunetra Pawar who will be heading the party at the national level, and thereafter her importance also within the Pawar family. How do they take it, and what exactly is it the main motive behind the leaders coming to this decision of taking the oath as the Deputy Chief Minister for Sunetra Pawar at such a fast pace. Henceforth, tomorrow an important day for the NCP faction, whereas also for the Pawar family, which face of the Pawar family will be able to take the legacy of Ajit Pawar ahead into the politics of Maharashtra is going to be important to watch out for. From Mumbai with video journalist Sunil Khankriyal, this is Sujata Dwivedi reporting for NDTV.
Meanwhile, with Sunetra Pawar taking oath as the first female Deputy CM of Maharashtra as per sources and emerging as a key political figure within the NCP, let's take a look at what the rise means for the Rajya Sabha MP. Take a look.
A distraught Sunetra Pawar bidding goodbye to her husband Ajit Pawar, who was killed in a plane crash. Now, she carries not just his memories, but also his legacy. Sunetra preferred to stay away from the political limelight. Now, she is at the center of it. After the sudden loss of Ajit Pawar, the party and the family face not just grief, but also the challenge of continuity. A defining moment in Maharashtra politics and the Pawar Parivar. At the center of this moment stands Sunetra Pawar, a leader shaped away from the limelight, yet deeply connected to the grassroots. Born into a distinguished political family, She is the daughter of former MP and State Minister Padma Singh Patil and the wife of senior NCP leader Ajit Pawar. For decades, Sunetra Pawar stayed away from electoral politics, focusing instead on education, social work, and women's empowerment. As chairperson of the Baramati Textile Company and founder of the Environmental Forum of India, she built a strong grassroots connect. Her political entry came in 2024 when she contested the Baramati Lok Sabha seat against her sister-in-law Supriya Sule. Though she lost that contest, Sunetra Pawar was later elected unopposed to the Rajya Sabha, a clear signal of her growing importance within the NCP. For supporters, her rise is reassurance that Ajit Pawar's vision will endure. From personal loss to public duty, Sunetra Pawar steps forward at a defining moment where legacy meets leadership. Bureau Report, NDTV.
Breaking news coming in at this hour after Confident Group owner CJ Roy died by suicide after shooting himself at his office in Bengaluru. Karnataka Chief Minister DK Shivakumar has raised doubts. He said when IT officials were questioning him, he is said to have asked for 5 minutes, gone inside and shot himself. Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister here asking for a high-level probe in the death of Confident Group CEO. Listen in.
ಅನೇಕ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ನನಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಘಟನೆ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಸೊ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಉನ್ನತ ತನಿಖೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಉನ್ನತ ತನಿಖೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಸಿ ಇದು ಸತ್ಯಾಂಶ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಕೇರಳದಿಂದ ತಂಡ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ವಿಚಾರ ತಿಳಿದಿದೆ. ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ತನಿಖೆ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನು ಈಚೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಇದು ಆಗಬಾರ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಉದ್ಯಮಿ, ಕೇರಳದಿಂದ ತಂಡ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎನ್ಕ್ವೈರಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸಿದ್ರು. ನಮಗೆ ದೆಹಲಿಯಿಂದ ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೆ ವರದಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನು ತನಿಖೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಜನರಿಗೆ ಏನು ನ್ಯಾಯ ಏನಿದೆ, ಏನು ಸತ್ಯ ಏನಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸುವಂಥ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಖಂಡಿತ ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ.
My colleague Deepak Bopana is joining me for more details. Deepak, Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister raising some serious questions about his death. Tell us what exactly happened.
Well, it looks like there are all indicators that this could very soon turn political as well. The Deputy Chief Minister here confirming that there will be a high-level investigation. He says the people of the state will know the truth through this probe. He also here says that he was a good businessman and says that, he has information that a team from Kerala was the one that was conducting these searches. And during, the questioning, he has asked for about 5 minutes, gone and shot himself in the room. Right. Mr. D.K. Shivakumar even saying that from Delhi a report has been sought. Who exactly has sought this report and how this probe, of course, will go forward is going to be very interesting to know.
Absolutely, Deepak. Several questions raised by Karnataka Deputy CM hinting at some foul play in the death case of Confident Group CEO. Now let's tell you about exactly what happened. A tragic incident occurred in Bengaluru. Confident Group owner CJ Roy died by suicide after shooting himself at his office in Bengaluru. Now CJ Roy shot himself when the raids were going on at his office. Roy shot himself in the office premises during the raids. Mystery is now surrounding his death. The questions loom large, and what triggered him to take this step is still unclear. And we just heard the Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister raising questions, saying there is a probe that should be done in the case. Now, CJ Roy was a prominent real estate developer and founder of the Confident Group, having significant presence across southern states like Kerala and Karnataka. He produced several Malayalam and Kannada films. CJ Roy's real estate empire expanded from India to UAE to USA. Now, when he was under the scanner of the IT raids, he died by suicide. What happened? The questions still remain unanswered. But listen into what people know about it.
ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕೇಳ್ಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ವಿ. ಆದರೆ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ರೈಡು ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅದು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕೇಳ್ಪಟ್ಟೆ ನಾನು. ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕೇಳ್ಪಟ್ಟೆ. ಅದು ತನಿಖೆಯಿಂದ
We are inquiring into it. We are taking up a case. The injured person was immediately shifted to a nearby hospital where he was declared dead, brought dead. As of now, the reports say that since last 2 to 3 days, the income tax team were having a search and search of this premises, but we are not aware of all the details. The team had come from Kerala, and the incident which has taken place is we are yet to investigate, start the investigation because the complaint is being drafted. As of now, it is a case of shooting, self-shooting, and still the case till all the angles are inquired into it. I cannot give a detailed report on that.
A shocking incident has occurred in Bengaluru city where the Confident Group CEO shot himself when he was under the IT scrutiny, where we are right now, exactly at the location on Hosur Main Road, and this is the location where basically this incident has occurred, where the CEO CJ Roy basically was under the IT scrutiny. In fact, what we are given to understand is that in the month of December, IT officials has reached the location, raided him, and the questioning was on that line regarding that of an IT evasion was on, and as part of the investigation, the IT officials has reached out the location today for the hours long together that the questioning was on with the CJ Roy, when he somehow managed to tell the IT officials that he's going to room and gonna be back, and when he went into the room, that's when he took this extreme step of shooting himself with the gun. Now what we are given to understand is that the very immediate moment is when the body was also taken to a hospital, but he was unfortunately declared dead there, present. The broad dead. Now the investigation is on, even as that we are here, the FSL team, the investigation in all that, the 360-degree angle is on to see to it what really led him to this extreme step. Of course, the family is not here in Bengaluru. They're going to be flying to India is what we are given to understand as well. But the CJ Roy was his business was majorly in Kerala, but also in Bengaluru, US, Dubai and other parts of country as well. He was not just into the real estate business, but also into the entertainment is what has also been given to understand as well. Now needs to be seen that what exactly was the line of questioning was on when that he really decided to take this extreme step, because the whole of that, the story lies there, what's really going to take part in the form of an investigation, because it's quite shocking, this incident coming to a light when the IT officials were right here at the location. With video journalist Kumari to Raj Purohit for NDTV in Bengaluru.
Tracking more breaking news, the tug of war between former Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao and the special investigation team probing the phone tapping case continued for another day over where he should be questioned and when. Now, BRS Chief KCR will be questioned by the SIT on Feb 1. My colleague Uma Sudhir is joining me for more details. Uma, do tell us about the case.
So, KCR had in fact written back to the SIT, which had summoned him Jan 30 at 3 p.m. He had in fact said that he cannot be available because this is the last date for filing of nominations for the municipal elections, and as party president he needs to be there. Now the SIT has replied saying that yes, they'll allow him that concession that he will be questioned at his residence, which because he's a senior citizen, as in more than 65 years of age. But they've said that he should make himself available at his Hyderabad residence on February 1 at 3 p.m. KCR had asked to be examined in Eravalli village, where he lives, where his farmhouse is also located, and that is where he had asked to be questioned. But the agency said that the venue of examination is usually determined by an ordinary place of residence that is there in the official records, like in the election affidavits, and therefore says that it is in his Hyderabad address that he could be questioned by the SIT, and therefore they also say that there are numerous electronic and physical records, and transporting all of that is going to be administratively difficult, and therefore they have asked him to appear at 3 p.m. on Feb 1. Of course, this relates to the alleged illegal interception of phones of over 6,000 people, including the then opposition leader and current Chief Minister Revant Reddy, and it is said that the phones of judges and businessmen were also tapped at that time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Uma, for joining us and giving us those details. NDTV becomes the first media organization to sit down with Tamil Nadu superstar Vijay after his formal political foray. In a wide-ranging and candid conversation, Vijay spoke about what fuels his politics and his vision for the future of Tamil Nadu. Far from being media shy, the actor turned politician engaged openly, answering some serious and tough questions and underlining his determination to stay in the course in the public life. From cinema to politics, Vijay signals that this is not a fleeting act, but a long-term commitment. Listen in to our team interacting with him.
This was the day of the big NDTV Tamil Nadu conclave that Vasudha, Shiv, Veera, entire team had been putting together, and we had all the big players from Stalin to EPS, Udayanidhi, Kanimodi, Kamal Hassan and the others. There was one man missing. There's a lot of talk about him and a lot of chatter around the superstar Thalapathy Vijay, and he wasn't there. So this afternoon we received a call saying that, why don't you come over this evening and have a chat. So I was actually conflicted because we had this big event going on, but Vasudha and Shiv, I must tell our viewers, said, we have to go. There is no way we're not going. I said, but we're doing an event. How do we just leave our own event and go? He said, Rahul, what are you saying? We have to go. And so there it was. We got into a cab, went across to meet Mr. Vijay, and this turns out to be his first meeting with the national media, and frankly, I was quite impressed. We had a very long, detailed chat. He called it a mock interview of sorts, and I went in, frankly, with very low expectations, Shiv, because he hasn't spoken in public, he hasn't answered questions. He's been speaking in his speeches, but he hasn't answered questions, as it were. So I thought, okay, maybe here's a guy who's underconfident, doesn't want to answer questions, but I asked him all kinds of questions, about 45 minutes plus, all kinds of questions, and he answered them in a very calm and assured fashion. What came across was his determination. Here's not somebody who's ambivalent or uncertain of what he's trying to do. He's made up his mind, he's given up films, this is his future. He feels bad for his producer who's suffering on account of Jan Nayagan not getting released. He says he expected this, Karur was a shock for him. It still haunts him in some ways, he says, because he never expected that to happen, but that his films could get targeted on account of his presence in politics is something he was totally prepared for mentally.
लोग कहते हैं कि जिंदगी एक फिल्म की तरह होती है, लेकिन मेरी जिंदगी सिर्फ एक फिल्म नहीं, एक ब्लॉकबस्टर फिल्म है। बचपन से पता था मेरे सपनों में दम है, आगे नहीं सबसे आगे जाना है, स्टार नहीं सुपरस्टार बन के दिखाना है। नाम मिला, फेम मिला, प्यार मिला, I was not just running, I was flying। सबकी जुबां पे बस एक ही नाम, यो हनी सिंगर। लेकिन फिर ब्लॉकबस्टर कहानी में आया एक ट्विस्ट, 7वें आसमान से सीधा गिरा मैं जमीन पर। फिर क्या, खुद पे काम दोबारा शुरू, फैंस ने फिर प्यार दिखाया, फिर स्टार नहीं सुपरस्टार बनाया। है ना मेरी जिंदगी एक ब्लॉकबस्टर फिल्म। शुक्रिया आपकी प्रेयर्स का और आपके प्यार का। कॉन्सर्ट्स तो आपने बहुत देखे होंगे, बट दिस इज गोना बी कॉन्सर्ट ऑफ अ लाइफटाइम, क्योंकि मेरे फैंस ही हैं मेरी विक्ट्री, मेरी हिस्ट्री, मेरी glory. So come and witness Yo-Yo Honey sing. This is my story.
NDTV 24/7, total domination in Davos. The world's biggest voices first. Iconic visionary Bill Gates. World Bank President Ajay Banga. IMF Chief Kristalina Georgieva. IBM CEO and President Arvind Krishna. India's AI Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. NDTV is India's voice in the world. First interview with Maharashtra Chief Minister. First interview with Andhra Chief Minister. First interview with Assam Chief Minister. India's first ground event in Davos. NDTV puts India on the global stage. Davos, domination, no debate.
को यहाँ से जाना ही होगा।
जय मां दुर्गा! There is no bigger battle in 2026.
The ultimate monument of love is back in news. Hollywood actor Margot Robbie dons the iconic Taj Mahal necklace, and the world is once again debating if it's cultural appreciation or colonial theft. Take a look.
An emblem of everlasting love, a rare piece of fine jewellery, and a controversial past. When actor Margot Robbie stepped onto the red carpet for the world premiere of her film Wuthering Heights, wearing a stunning Schiaparelli couture gown and a giant shimmering diamond around her neck, it sent the photographers and the internet into a flashy frenzy. An opulent heart-shaped diamond mounted on jade with gold, diamond and rubies on the chain, the Taj Mahal necklace stole the show. Tracing back to 17th century Mughal Empire, the necklace belonged to Noor Jahan, then passed down to Shah Jahan, who gifted it to his wife Mumtaz Mahal, engraved it with the words, "Love is everlasting." In 1970s, the necklace was then gifted by Richard Burton to Hollywood legend Elizabeth Taylor. For her birthday, Cartier procured it and slightly altered the design. And later, after the death of Miss Taylor, the necklace was auctioned for $8.8 million. Centuries-old tale of love and tumultuous chapters of colonial history, the necklace has remained as one of the most enchanting pieces of rare jewelry. At the premiere, when Margot Robbie wore it, she once again displayed the magnificence of the Taj Mahal necklace to the world, reopening the debate of love and loot. But one thing remained unchanged. The woman wearing it around her neck was gleaming with joy and beauty. Mayank Chaudhary for NDTV.
A rare Himalayan red fox was sighted at Zozela Pass in Jammu and Kashmir, underlining the region's rich biodiversity and diverse wildlife habitat. We leave you with these beautiful images. Take a look.
Mumbai are bringing our first India tour in your city. Rag on with Shankar Ehsan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go grab your tickets on Live Your City by Fever.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
1st February 2026. What will change? Will costs be more handy? Will my essentials get cheaper? Will my business grow bigger? Will I get richer? Will loans get easier? Will shopping be more fun? Will the prices drop? So I get more. What will happen? Union Budget 2026 on NDTV Network.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV Network.
straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gaurie as I track all the developments as they break. Live from In the Kolkata's Wow Momo warehouse fire tragedy, unit manager and deputy manager sent to 6-day police custody. At least 21 lives have been lost in this tragedy. The top story at this hour, just days after Ajit Pawar's tragic death in a plane crash near Baramati in Maharashtra, a growing chorus within the NCP is calling for his wife, Sunetra Pawar, to step in as the next Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Now, according to sources, the Rajya Sabha MP is all set to take oath at 5 p.m. on Jan 31st, which would make her the first woman Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra. The oath-taking ceremony is expected to take place after a crucial meeting of NCP leaders, MLAs and MLCs at Vidhan Bhavan, where Sunetra Pawar is likely to be elected as the leader of the NCP legislature party. Meanwhile, Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has assured full support to the Pawar family and the NCP. He said that should the party decide to nominate Sunetra Pawar for the Deputy CM's post, the BJP has no issues. However, the road ahead will not be easy. Sunetra Pawar is expected to face multiple challenges, from reclaiming Ajit Pawar's traditional strongholds to establishing her own authority within the Mahayuti government. Sample the reactions.
कोई भी निर्णय जो होगा, ये निर्णय राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस पार्टी लेगी. राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस पार्टी जो निर्णय लेगी, हम उसके साथ खड़े रहेंगे. चाहे वो अजीत पवार जी का परिवार हो या राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस पार्टी हो, इनके साथ पूरी ताकत के साथ सरकार के रूप में और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के रूप में हम खड़े.
टेंटेटिव्हली असं ठरलं होतं की उद्या मीटिंग घेऊन CLPची सुनेत्रा ताईंचे जे आहे नाव आपण CLP लीडर म्हणून फाइनल करायचं है. CM साहब से जो है हम लोग गए थे, प्रफुल्ल भाई, तटकरे, मैं और मुंडे, कल भी हम मिले थे उनको रात को. तो टेंटेटिवली जो है कल हो सकता है क्या सब शपथ विधि से लेकर सारी चीजें. तो मुख्यमंत्री ने कहा कोई मुझे प्रॉब्लम नहीं है.
राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस पार्टी की CLP की मीटिंग कल दोपहर के 2 बजे हमारे सारे विधायक, विधानसभा सदस्य, विधान परिषद सदस्य, पार्टी के सांसद, पार्टी के वरिष्ठ नेता, उनकी उपस्थिति में हो जाएगी. इसका जो कुछ हम निर्णय लेंगे इसके बारे में हम माननीय मुख्यमंत्री महोदय जी को अवगत करेंगे. आज रात को हम सुनेत्रा मीटिंग के साथ भी बात करने वाले.
माननीय शरद पवार साहब, सुनेत्रा भाभी, पार्थ पवार, जय पवार, बाकी पूरा उनके अजीत दादा के भाई बहनें, सब लोग इकट्ठा बैठेंगे. इकट्ठा बैठ के वो निर्णय लेंगे. लेकिन अभी उसके बारे में डिप्टी CM को, मंत्री को इसके बारे में चर्चा करना ठीक है, लेकिन उसमें जो निर्णय समझ आता है कि सुनेत्रा बहनी को अब डिप्टी CM बनाना चाहिए, तो खुशी की बात है.
Departed leader Ajit Pawar's wife Sunetra Pawar is all set to take charge as the first female Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra tomorrow. However, before the ceremony starts, there's going to be an important meeting of all the legislature members of the NCP party, which will be held at the Vidhan Bhavan, where all the MPs, MLAs and MLCs will be present, and thereafter a consensus will be brought in to understand and to decide whether Sunetra Pawar will also lead the legislature of the party or not. And henceforth tomorrow remains a decisive day for the NCP faction. And not only that, but also talks will be rife soon after whether will there be a merger within both the factions of the NCP or not, and what is the actual take of Sharad Pawar into the matter. It is going to be an important day to also look after whether will it be Sunetra Pawar who will be heading the party at the national level, and thereafter her importance also within the Pawar family. How do they take it, and what exactly is it the main motive behind the leaders coming to this decision of taking the oath as the Deputy Chief Minister for Sunetra Pawar at such a fast pace. Henceforth, tomorrow an important day for the NCP faction, whereas also for the Pawar family, which face of the Pawar family will be able to take the legacy of Ajit Pawar ahead into the politics of Maharashtra is going to be important to watch out for. From Mumbai with video journalist Sunil Khankariyal, this is Sujata Dwivedi reporting for NDTV.
Meanwhile, with Sunetra Pawar taking oath as the first female Deputy CM of Maharashtra as per sources and emerging as a key political figure within the NCP, let's take a look at what the rise means for the Rajya Sabha MP. Take a look.
A distraught Sunetra Pawar, bidding goodbye to her husband Ajit Pawar, who was killed in a plane crash. Now, she carries not just his memories, but also his legacy. Sunetra preferred to stay away from the political limelight. Now, she is at the center of it. After the sudden loss of Ajit Pawar, the party and the family face not just grief, but also the challenge of continuity. A defining moment in Maharashtra politics and the Pawar Parivar. At the center of this moment stands Sunetra Pawar, a leader shaped away from the limelight, yet deeply connected to the grassroots. Born into a distinguished political family, she is the daughter of former MP and State Minister Padma Singh Patil and the wife of senior NCP leader Ajit Pawar. For decades, Sunetra Pawar stayed away from electoral politics, focusing instead on education, social work, and women's empowerment. As chairperson of the Baramati Textile Company and founder of the Environmental Forum of India, she built a strong grassroots connect. Her political entry came in 2024 when she contested the Baramati Lok Sabha seat against